Retro Mondays.
Hey, what's happening, paisanos? It's K-Wing here. Welcome back to another Retro Mondays, where my goal is to turn your Monday into a fun day. Anyway, today's classic game is Super Mario Land, which released for the Nintendo Gameboy in 1989, as part of the launch of the system, and managed to sell 18 million copies as well. This game holds a lot of fond memories for me back in the 1980s and even today. I mean, think about it, folks. It was Super Mario in the palm of your hands, and it was portable! That was pretty earth-shattering for its day, don't you think? Although personally, I was more excited for when Zelda made it to the monochrome machine in 1993. The development for this game was handled by Nintendo's R&D1 and was the first game to feature Mario without any involvement from Miyamoto. Instead, Mario's new game was created by the father of the Game Boy and mentor to Shigeru. Like Donkey Kong before it, this game doesn't take place in the Mushroom Kingdom. Somehow, the plumber has ended up in Shashara Land, ruled by Princess Daisy. The land itself is broken into 4 kingdoms, each following a unique theme. Poor Mario just can't get a break and once again must rescue an unknown princess. Except this time, it's from an alien and not a weird turtle creature. Gameplay begins virtually the same as the original Mario Bros. Game on the NES. Our plump hero must travel through 3 levels before facing off against that kingdom's boss. Then, like with your princesses in another castle routine, they add a twist and have the girl transform into a monster right in front of Mario. Super Mario Land has 4 worlds, and at the very end of the game, you face off against the space alien that kidnapped Daisy. Mario's main attack is still stomping things to death, but not all enemies can be killed with just one jump. Also, some foes return to life and others are invincible from the jump attack as well. This game does feature some new additions though. Classic power-ups like the Super Mushroom and Starman see a return, but the Fire Flower is now upgraded to Super Balls, which ricochet off the environments and collect coins now too. Pretty awesome. Now, the 1-Up Mushroom is completely absent from this game and now looks like a Zelda heart instead, which I'm not complaining. Instead of swimming or finding a feather to fly, Mario uses his head for once and brought a submarine and airplane with him. That's what I'm talking about. So in a way, this game was a platform / shoot-'em-up game, which was great. You heard right, Mario actually starred in his own shmup. Well, kind of. These stages, the screen actually scrolls to the right and at a set pace, so if you get stuck at any time during this level, you're toast. So, what didn't I like about this game? I'm actually gonna go with this game is just too wicked short. I could have sworn it was a lot longer than 4 levels, but it really isn't. Honestly, it only took me about 40 minutes to beat this game on my first try after 22 years. Although as a 6-year-old, I did struggle tremendously with this game. So much so that the game actually made me cry and my dad had to help me beat the game numerous times. But then again, he actually became very addicted to this game in '89 and 1990. When I was a little kid, I had 2 things I couldn't stand about this game. Number 1, those enemies that looked like those Kung Fu masters really boiled me inside. Because you would jump on them and after a few seconds they would reappear and kill you. Number 2, riding the boulders to progress through the level was a pain. You would think it would be such a simple task, but for some reason it was so challenging for little K-Wing. I lost so many lives back then. Today, on the other hand, this level was a breeze, and so much fun. As a reviewer, the only thing that I'm at ends with this marvelous game so many years later is the jump mechanic. It just differs a lot from the console versions. If you don't push forward while in the air, Mario is going to plummet like a rock to his death. I hated that so much about this game. This imprecise control made me really angry, even now, but it's the only real fault that I've ever been able to find with this title. See, that wasn't so bad now, was it? When a game like this has such a firm grip on one's childhood, it's nearly impossible to find lots of bad things about it, so I had to nitpick here and there. I just have so many joyous memories of playing this game, especially once the Game Boy Light attachment came out. And then I could play the game at night under my blankets after my parents said lights out and bedtime. Ah, good times. Design for this game was very simple, yet the locations still stick out to me even after 2 decades. That's pretty freaky. From the pyramids to the water stage, the scary spiders in World 3, facing the kung fu characters and the strange looking bosses, etc, etc. Graphics-wise, the game looked incredible. The characters appeared similar to the NES, and it was one of the better looking launch games for the Game Boy too. Now, if I had to pick a favorite aspect of this game, it would have to go to Mario's side-scrolling shooter levels. As a kid, it just excited me so much to play these 2 levels. I only wish there was more levels because the gameplay was so easy and fun to play. Mario could use every power but the flower power. Another thing that makes me love this game so much was its music. It didn't quite sound like a Mario game, but unlike other Nintendo franchises, it still managed to work out, and very well I might add. The composition was done by this gentleman, whose work included that of Tetris, Metroid, Kid Icarus, and yes, Duck Hunt. Each location Mario went to had its own distinct stage theme, unlike the original Super Mario Bros., which only changed for the water and castle stages and then went back to the main Mario theme, which wasn't bad, but I liked the change with the Game Boy version. The game's score succeeded in actually making the player feel more captivated with each new world they explored. Okay, so I know some of you are a bit confused by the music you're hearing right now, because it's not from the original game. Just like with my Kid Icarus and Metroid reviews, I'm actually using a CD arrangement that was released back in the 80s. Since all the tunes are so catchy and fun to listen to, I would have to say that the ending credits is my personal favorite for this game, because it felt like something that would belong to one of my favorite anime movies. Graphics, music, and gameplay wasn't the only thing this game had going for it. It also had many secrets, such as being transported to the top of the screen in the pyramid level, jumping onto invisible blocks in the water stage, discovering hidden pipes, and of course skipping the majority of level 3. Other replay this game offered was unlocking a harder difficulty after beating the game. If the gamer managed to save Daisy on this difficulty, you unlocked a stage select, allowing you to replay any level you wanted. Genius! Let me tell you, this was a huge deal back then because stage selection was a long ways away, gamers. All in all, I have to say this is one great game. Though it may be very short, it's definitely worth owning in your collection, if you don't already own it. We all know that Super Mario Land was so successful that it ended up having a sequel for Nintendo's portable giant dubbed Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins, which released 3 years after the first game, but that's a review for another day. Recently, at one of Nintendo's press briefings for the 3DS, Super Mario Land was announced as one of the Virtual Console games that will be available to download when the system releases. Yes! So if any of you haven't been able to play this game, very soon you will have that opportunity. And hopefully you will understand why kids from the 80s enjoyed this game so much. Well, that wraps up another episode of Retro Mondays. Make sure, guys and gals, you don't miss out on the next episode, because it starts this season's collab with the best reviewers on YouTube. First up, we have WeViewer, and he's going to be helping us take a look at the unique Super Nintendo game, The Lost Vikings, which released in the early 90s. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. If you haven't already, please press the subscribe button to see more content. And until we meet again, gamers, God bless and happy gaming.